7. Let's go live. Send. Okay. Make sure all my things are in order. The chat is live. Everything's live. And then I do a little da 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 da. Okay. There you go. I got a news intro. Hi. Hello. Stare at that for a second. I know, it's spoiling a lot of stuff. But, hello. Let me roll some bed music there. How you doing? How you doing, chat? Hello. It's Let's Talk FGO, kind of. It's a little lean, but yes, we're here. So, basically, to let everybody know off the top, and I'll probably be reiterating this a few times, and if you're in chat, be sure to throw this out to some stuff, some people. So, I tweeted about this yesterday, and I let patrons know, but if you're wondering why there was no Let's Talk FGO so far, it was because Lucky is sick. He did not feel up to recording yesterday. He is feeling better today, but he said that he's achieving that feeling better by being very well medicated, so he did not feel like appearing on air. So we're going to do, solo me solo times. Oops, all Omega times. That joke again. And hopefully I'll be okay for this. I will let you guys know as well. I am not at 100% either. I got boosted yesterday. So I'm a little more tired than usual. But, hey, we exist. And normally I would use this opportunity of sympathy to blatantly push for you guys to make sure to support us financially. But also, it's like the first week in November, so we wouldn't even see that money for a while. So that's not to say that you shouldn't support us financially, but for now, that's not really relevant to making Lucky feel better. I would instead appreciate it if you made sure to give this video plenty of love, smash it some likes, leave some comments later, give some thumbs up. Make sure to like the mailbag post. Lucky's very big about our APs as well, the Gensekai stuff, so make sure to go listen to that one. The usual amount of love. Very understandable, Legendary. Well, hey, I just appreciate you guys being here. I see that we're already up to 15, even though, according to YouTube, it's a little weird. But, well, I say according to YouTube. Technically, I have two different numbers. But anyway, hi. Hello. You guys may hear, by the way, also, I do have a just loop of some FGO music going on in the background. I thought it might be a little dull with just me speaking and no extra background sauce. I'm pretty sure. Let me double check. I don't think this features any of the, anime licensed music. It's also pretty soft. It's just supposed to be very subtle. No, not specifically. I'll shout them out since I'm, well, I won't say I'm stealing their video because, they're re-uploading it. But this is that Sosa? S-O-S-A-W. It's a YouTube channel. They've got Fate Grand Order OST Best Music Compilation #1. They've done a few compilations of just good FGO music. Whenever I need to, power through writing show notes and stuff, I will cue this one up. It's got a lot of some of the best stuff from, I think, mostly from Soundtrack 1. Though it's also got some later stuff, you might hear Chin Shi Wong's True Human in here and some of the later Grand Battle stuff. Dies Irae, etc. Anyway, we're not here to talk about that part, other than just I gave you some extra juice back there. I would, of course, like to remind you that this and all of our other episodes, however, are brought to you by our patrons, which includes Added Harp, Architect 10, Blexto G, Carlos, Dragon, Ferris, Jerry Vasquez, Just the Fae, John Sandoval, Legendary Boss Hunter, Regent Raptor, Rise of Kenji, Rogue Robin, Charvor, Sean Pryor, some guy named Bob, Starting 23, and Baron the Crow. If you support us on Patreon, thank you so much. If you do not support us on Patreon, you could get access to audio and video early, though there's not going to be any audio for this. This is just me spitballing on a live stream. I, already had to futz with my setup to show you the show notes without me also running my audio. I guess I could do what I had to do for the AP if you have listened to the latest Gensekai AP. I had to re-download the video and convert it back to audio and edit it because I am a dumbus. But yes, patrons get access to lots of fun stuff early. They help us support. They get access to polls and things, which I will be discussing later when we cover some other usual business things. And it really helps us out and supports us in these times, you know, when Lucky be ill. And I am not necessarily feeling my bestest either. Let me flex my arm. But yes, hello. So that's a good point. Thank you, Spirit on Olympus, for bringing that up. So in the notes, I can scroll a little. Pay no attention to that stuff. I did put final thoughts ? Here. I'm not done with the event either. Let me make sure that's framed up correctly. And I have thoughts about the event we will get into after I refresh you on the news. I will also be saying, like I did, I think, the last time we had to do this. First of all, for people, if you're just tuning in and you can't guess, no mailbag from me. Like I said, Lucky doesn't want to be on camera, and mailbag is his baby. That's his thing. So I'm not going to, like, take it from him while he's down. Unless he, you know, is in chat right now to yell at me to do it. But it would be not the kind of thing. And yes, though, as Axeman's pointing out in chat, I have stuff to say about this event. We'll get there when we get there. But there won't be any mailbag. After we get through the show notes and the news and I get your reactions, you know, live and stuff, we'll probably do, like, some Q&A. I might just do some joshing with y'all. I know earlier in the week when we were recording Final Fantasy XIV, also please go watch that stream, I joked about streaming, log in an hour earlier, that is true. I guess that makes my needing to wake up tomorrow for something. Keep your eyes peeled. I might have something fun to share with people. But I'm gonna make sure to get up so I can receive my FedEx mail. Anyway, yeah, daylight savings time is great. But no, what I was gonna say was that earlier this week I joked about streaming I was a teenage exocolonist. I thought about doing that also this week, but I am currently over the halfway point in my first run. I'm through the first 5 years. So, like, a lot of, like, spoilery and topsy-twisty-turny stuff, so not right now. No extra stream gameplay. But we will be, you know, going through our usual beeswax. Also, don't mind if you see, like, a phantom cursor or something while I'm here. But we're starting. I remember to do the Patreon bump. I remembered all that other stuff. So, I think it's time to officially check in with everybody's favorite Kohai, Mash.
Senpai, 起きてください.
Because now that we've been streaming for, like 5 minutes? 8 minutes. Damn, big lag on that. It's time for the pro tip. The only pro tip I have is the one you probably already know, but in case you haven't logged in a little bit or haven't been paying attention, November's items for us in NA are Ice, Homunculi, and Steaks. I'm going to be tapping Steaks for a while, but I do need to make sure I have enough Ice, because my Scotty skills are bad. We can also blow through Records from the Throne, our regular achievement topic, pretty fast, pretty well. Because, I did actually have something. Through the power of store and monthly EXPs, I have finally max leveled my Himiko. I've protected her smile. I don't really have anything else to work on, but, you know, we're chipping away. I haven't really, like, utilized the triple support setup to my fullest, but, you know, we've got some stuff. I should actually make sure I've gotten all my... I've also bought all my copies of the store CE, but I haven't gotten, like, a drop, so, yeah. That's great, isn't it? It's so great they couldn't just hide a 5th copy in one of the, like, 5 maps we have that are huge. Anyway, other than Lucky still being a little... I think we can technically say Lucky is too sick to be on stream, on recording. Yeah, and it's goes straight to main inwood, which I don't think gives you the CEs, so I gotta pray in these last 5 days. Yeah, no, there's also technically you're right, the event is a point ladder. Thank you, Carlos. There's no 5th copy in there. Hopefully we learn our lessons from this. I can kind of see why they hadn't... It had been the full, like, 2 years and they hadn't done a rerun yet. Because, like, obviously, OQ went through the whole cycle, right? Like, it got a rerun and a main interlude drop. And arguably, I think they learned from that rerun that the main interlude drop was way better. This will probably be a good main interlude, but there is some stuff you lose out on that. Oof. Well, technically we don't learn our lesson about CEs, but I don't know if we learn our lesson about weird design. Is there a stray parenthesis in there? Anyway, as I was saying earlier, technically we can say that Lucky is missing the recording because he is sick, even though technically he is feeling better because he is drugged. He is experiencing over-the-counter medication. But we can ask, did you finish your master missions? Pretty simple. So defeat 15 each of Earth and Heaven attributes, and then 15 demonic enemies. I did not jot them down, but there are some notes here about how you have to make sure they are not, like, extras summoned during a battle. Like, if you get extra boys for certain fights, they don't count. And then you need to clear... Well, you need to clear 10 quests. Ooh, sorry, I'm very burpy all of a sudden. I ate dinner a little while ago. But you do need to complete quests 10 times, and you need to get 2 and then 4 skill gems or statues. That's any of the 3 color gems or either of the 2 statue colors. Through battles, so through drops. Not a big deal. All of this you should be able to accomplish by doing the event, and if not, you can patch it out with some other stuff if, you know, you're slow on the uptake there. So, let's move to the big boy stuff, because we do have a decent blob of news. We don't really have anything in the back half. There's some stuff to talk about. The show notes are pretty lean and mean, but there were a couple of new things out of JP that are worth talking about. And I still think some general stuff to mention as well. So first off, this will probably get a lot of you excited, but the 10th wave of advanced quests has launched. That was the 31st of last month. So the CEs that were added were for Night Medals, Hero Proofs, and Dragon Scales. People are probably very excited about that. They're finally out there. I'm very curious when they will start rolling out advanced quests for us for those drop CEs. Because obviously they have like a theme, but you never know. We could get some stuff early. And then we got the spicy one. So, as predicted, as advertised, we have an event coming that is Lost Belt 6-ish locked. We've got our full announcement here. This is the Chaldea Fairy Night Cup. The pre-release campaign started on the 2nd. It goes until the 9th. It's got a login campaign for some apples. It's got some limited time master missions. If you complete advanced quests, to get you access to QP and foes. During this time period, you've got half AP rank ups and interludes, and all dailies are open. There is a Morgan summon banner open as well for the pre-release. Now, this is going to be a lotto event. So we've got possibly our end of the year lotto. Maybe Christmas won't be lotto, or maybe we won't do Christmas normally this year. We'll see. There will probably be some summon banners and stuff, but we'll see how they handle welfares and whatnot. Anyway, we don't exactly know how Lost Belt 7 and other stuff's gonna shake out. We'll see. We'll see what the ups is. Ow! Just went to scratch my head and scrape myself on my headphones a little bit. But anyway, the other big thing from the look of it is that they've announced something very special. Now, the way I understand this is, so if you have cleared Fuyuki, you can do basically free quests. So you can do event-type quests and presumably do your lotto farming and whatever. All other quests, so that's story quests, CQs, shit like that, little bonus quests you need to do to get other stuff, those require you to clear Lost Belt 6 to get to. So that's very interesting. And honestly, I don't know about y'all, but I kind of like this method. It seems like a good way to handle avoiding... Like, obviously, the other way for them to do this is to do the thing where just some stuff is kind of hidden, similar to Summer 5, where you don't really get a good look at what's going on with Yume Ren as a character. You know, she hides behind her sunglasses and stuff. But this is definitely better than what is technically Imaginary Scramble's approach, for instance, imaginary. Scramble is basically, hey, you can start playing this if you've got Lost Belt 1 cleared. If you haven't cleared up to Lost Belt 4, you will get fucking spoiled, basically. Which is an interesting medium approach, but definitely this system of, like, yo, dog, you can do free quests. Especially for a lotto event. That is good. That's very strong. I think that will do pretty good. Also, looking from, like, the name of, you know, and the background images, a lot of people are saying this looks like, you know, Extreme Challenge, MXC kind of stuff. You know, the Wipeout type shit. That could be very interesting if that is the case. That is certainly what the banner images look like. So, yeah, that's an interesting one. It's an intriguing one. Now, we do have a Stram. Ninja Warrior's another. Yeah, another very common. You could also probably do American Gladiator. There's a lot of shows like this. Everybody has their own version. So there's gonna be some shit. That's probably gonna be very funny for this sort of event, and we'll see how that shakes out. We do have a stream announcement. There will be a Stram on the 9th of November when the pre-release campaign ends. So. Let me go see. Do they have an announcement of the guests for the Night Cup? Sorry, yawning a little bit. I told you I'm still a little low energy. Okay, that's still under construction. Live stream. Oh, okay, so our only announced guest is Aiko Kawasumi. Okay, all right, interesting. And I got a St. Quartz Road for that. All right, so it seems like it's a pretty light stream. But still, good, you know, they're doing the stuff. So that probably means that we're actually going to have the event start then. They have shown off an image of the SSR, but I don't think we have a class. I just remember they showed a preview image. But it has been stated the name for that SSR is Britomart. So, that's kind of an interesting name. So, there is a Greek nymph named Britomartis. A kind of minor deity, sometimes synchronized with Artemis. But also is a character in Spencer's Fairy Queen, which is an epic poem about fairy knights. And I would presume was probably an influence on Nasu for some of this stuff. But Britomart is a female knight. She's the Knight of Chastity. As kind of a parallel to Bradamante, so we'll see exactly what we're shaking out to be, but the silhouette is another big, chunky, armored person. I would assume an armored lady, because they are going with the name Britomart, both of which are females, so that'll be interesting to see if basically we're getting an extra fairy knight. I could be down to clown, but I also don't know how Lost Belt 7 is going to turn out. Especially because there were pseudo-leaks for that, but then there was at least one case over the last week where there was a deliberate fake leak. Like, somebody was straight up like, yo, dog, I created a fake leak to see what people would do, and people ate it up, so. I don't remember the exact details because it's been a little bit, but yeah. So, anyway, I am keen to see what they do with a character they call Britomart. Will it be an explicit reference to Fairy Queen? Will it be the Greek character with some of the Fairy Queen elements? Who knows? I'm curious. And it'll be good to get a new character on the banner because, oh my god, guys. I assume if you're watching this live, or maybe if you're watching the VOD, if you're on our channel, you probably are aware and participated in the basically shit posting about how many gosh darned banners Morgan has, but there's been a lot of jokes about how many banners Morgan has. It's a lot. Listen, I appreciate it for reasons of rolling, but damn, that's a lot of banners. So we'll see what happens. Yes, my next note is we also have another JP announcement. So we're continuing our ball rolling on those Singularity. Yeah, Morgan is the new Gil. I mean, honestly, I love more mecha stuff, so I'd love to see it. I'd love to see some stuff. It is kind of interesting because, like I said, Brito Martis is, like, sometimes syncretized with Artemis. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, Morgan is basically the new Gil. We'll see how it, and we'll see if there's any Gil raid ups. We got Thanksgiving coming up. Lots of people are speculating about them banish. But anyway, speaking of banners, the Singularity Repair campaign has more banners. Called it. As predicted. There are 2 more they've announced, and I presume they're basically going to go through all 7 Singularities. Maybe even Temple of Time? Could we get a, Merlin banner again? Who knows? I know they're sometimes stingy with Merlin's raid-ups. But basically, the way this works, there's going to be 2 more banners. I think the Okeanos one has started. That one is, I think, basically 1 rotation. Because it's just Drake, Medea Lily, Animary, and David. It's an alright banner. Medea Lily is story-locked. Considering she's only a year old, well, a year and a half old, but you know what I mean. Like, not even out in NA, 4 banners in the first, 2 years. Pretty hypo. Plus, she's a limited, so she's been in several lucky bags as well. But, the next banner is the London one. That one's kind of interesting. Ooh, actually, yes, Carlos, that's a good suggestion. Because technically Temple of Time does canonically feature some of the event servants, that could be a good way to get some of those guys some banners they didn't have. Like, Kentucky and Reiko, I think, showed up. Obviously, Merlin would be a key one, because that was kind of his thing, but there's some more stuff you could jam in there. Anyway, as I was saying, the London one has also been announced. I don't think that's started yet, but that will be a rotation. The first version of that banner will be Mordred, Rhyme, Jekyll. The second version will be Jack, Lancer, Alter, Babbage. Kind of interesting, no Tesla, but I guess, having a third SSR technically in there. And they do seem like they're focusing on non-limited, permanent people. So, it's an interesting one. Now, that's not to say that NA isn't without its own banner stuff as well, as you can see pulled up there. We got a Imaginary Scramble banner number 2, started the 4th, going until the 13th. And correct me if I'm wrong, isn't this original? I don't remember this one from the original one, but I might just be brain blasted. Yeah, in JP, I'm only seeing 1 summon banner noted. But this is an interesting one. So this is Imaginary Scramble banner number 2. You've got regular Abigail, Summer Melt, and Summer Hime on banner, plus all your CEs for stuff. So that's a pretty interesting little touch, little extra bit there. So yeah, that's fun. Technically, this is the same note as last week. Okay, Korea had something similar. Okay. That's interesting, because Korea operates slightly differently, but still, got some intriguing stuff. As I was saying, Anime NYC is still on here. That's still happening the 19th. There will be a stream. Nissan will be here in America. Go say hi to him if you can. We can presume this will probably be, once again, to reiterate, this will almost assuredly be announcement of whatever we're getting for Thanksgiving. Almost assuredly, not 100%, but pretty sure. This will include the announcement, at least, of the pre-release of Heian-kyo, which may or may not overlap with Thanksgiving there. Depends on the exact dates and stuff. And then also may or may not actually be the Heian-kyo stuff. It also is probably related to news about Mahoyo, Witch of the Holy Night, which we will get into a second, because there was some news out there. But yeah, there was probably a few things they were going to hit up, but as usual, the internet has ruined some of them. But yeah, so I'm going to take I know we've only been streaming for like 20 minutes. Yeah, well, have fun there. But like I said, I'm a little wore out, so I need to go refill my water really quick before we get into Imaginary Scramble. I will leave you with the music and the standby screen for a sec. So sorry about that, everybody, but I am slightly melty, so I will be right back. Don't read any weird context into my use of the word melt and or melty. Okay, all right. My water bottle is fully filled. We can get back to it. Take a big sip on there. Let's switch the scene back. But yeah. So, Imaginary Scramble thoughts. Not technically final thoughts for a couple of reasons. One, I'm not done with the event. I've been kind of pushing pretty hard to get through there. And why I'm not done will be in some of my comments. The other thing is also, I mean, I don't know if Lucky's done with the event. I assume he's not because he hasn't been feeling well yesterday. Don't know how much he's been able to play today, but, you know, I'm sure it was not good for, you know, his total play time. Thank you, Starlight, for your super chat. A lucky get well dono. We shall hope that, indeed, he does get well. But, like I said, don't know where he's at with the event. I'm not done. And as a third factor, we are live streaming right now. I don't really know how well I feel about, like, dropping full-ass spoiler bombs in the middle of a live event, you know? We're not overly concerned with spoilers because we do regularly give the spoiler warning at the front of the show. You know, we make sure to let you know when there will be spoilers, sometimes double down on that. But also, we like to use time codes and other stuff to get around it. So with live, it's a little weird. But I am on the 4th map, and I have some general thoughts and feelings about this event. And chat, be sure to let me know how you feel about it as well, because I'm kind of conflicted. On the one hand, I think, you know, character and scenario-wise, this event is written very interesting. I am enjoying what we were doing with the characters. You know, we've got a lot of in-depth look at Van Gogh as a character. P.S. Go watch One at Van Gogh, or I curse you. But you know, there's many more than that. This is the first time Yang Guifei has showed up, right? Yes, the sound design for this is very, very good as well. I've talked about that before. The music design and the extra sound effects are very good. But, you know, you get to interact even more with all the Nemo series as well. Really good look at Nemo, especially because this is also kind of like his debut as playable kind of a thing, you know? And even the, like, weird pseudo-summer nature of it, like, you know, it's implied very early by the dialogue that, hey, you're in a dream. So, like, we've got some very weird things going on with, like, how we'll ping-pong between, like... I mean, honestly, a little bit of that is kind of how the tone of 20,000 Leagues is written, but you'll ping from these great moments of, like, you know... Ooh, it has a little detail? I didn't even notice that. I gotta blow up really good for that. It's nice. Nice touch. Love those. Where was I? Right. So I was just saying, like, we'll ping-pong between, you know, these moments of, like, great adventure or, you know, like, classic submarine movie, like, thriller tension, you know, Hunt from the Red October type shit, to just weird things like, you know, we're trying to have a think, and then Summer Frame is in our room, and then it's just lounge, lounge, lounge. They just move her sprite slightly, and then eventually your dialogue options are just lounge around, engage maximum lounge. You know, right? So there's a little bit of mood whiplash, but FGO is often like that. So, like, overall, the writing is good, though I am not technically at a twist, but I feel like a twist is being very obviously queued up, especially from what other people are saying about the event. So, we're not exactly the most subtlest. The part where I'm at in the story specifically was I just finished the No Battles contest where, I will say this without spoiling, we count that there are 13 Nemo Marines, and that's where we stopped it. So, you know, we'll continue to see how that shakes out. But the fact that they very early on call it a dream, and there is some, like, weird dream logic stuff to it, and there's some very meta bullshit. The first idle talk between just Da Vinci and Sion about it being a dream mechanically, like, if you haven't, that's pretty early, so most people probably aren't that far, but if you aren't, like, go back and hit that one up. It's, yeah, no, like I said, very meta, very interesting to read those conversations. But mechanically, guys, correct me if I'm wrong here, but is it just me, or does this event kind of suck? Like, okay, all right. I like the concept of the grid, and the fact that they explicitly reference it in the story. You know, you've got the actual, like, battleship-ass map. It's like playing an actual, you know, nautical war game on a tabletop, right? That's cool. Why the fuck does everything cost currency that is separate from our event currency, and you have to farm separately? And at least as far as I am so far, I'm, you know, 4 maps deep. There's no just... Why can't we just drop all 3 mats, guys? Like, I know that some servants give you bonus currency, but it's still only +1 per. So, like, hypothetically, the most you can get is, like, you know, +6-ish. And even then, you know, you have to actually be using event bonus servants and all that stuff to do it. And, you know, some of these guys in free quests are very chunky. I talked about this in the pregame, so it's not, like, simple and straightforward to just easy modo Noom through. I know, technically, it's a Lost Belt clear event. It's supposed to be a little harder. But it's like, you know, I have spent so many apples just going like, oh shit, I'm out of all of my mats. I cannot progress the map, which means I cannot do the event. I'm just going to eat a couple gold apples, you know, farm as many of the couple of quests. Yeah, no, it's not difficult. It's just tedious, right? Yeah, you have to clear all the points to get the point, like, complete the point ladder as well. Now, obviously, the last, like, 10 rewards are all, like, extra QP, but you want them, but they're not necessary. But still, yeah, it's a pain in the butt. Tedious is the right word for it. Thank you, chat. So like I said, I've just chomped multiple golden apples and just spent it all doing free quests to get up my currency, and then just cleared as much of the map as I want to. Oh, it's the one before last that is the lore, right? Yeah, no, that's right. It is a pain in the ass. But yeah, so like, it's neat. I like the concepts. I just don't like how we had to tie all of it to resources. Like, the extra buffs to your team, okay, those are cool. You can even use them in story quests. But that means I got to spend currency, which means I can't explore the map, which means I can't advance the story. And unfortunately, a lot of those story quests are mandatory story supports, and they're not great. Some of the early ones were good, but unfortunately, I have seen quite a few of these matchups where you've got, like, 3 or 4 people in the story. None of them have class advantage. Okay, so the last map has the node that's all 3. Okay. That's good. That should be the first map's node, though. I don't know why we gotta split that shit up. Just give me all the juice, you know? But yeah. Well, even, like, mechanically, I like Van Gogh. And if you listen to the Wanted, I came up with some sick strats. Some people in the comments, and I do actually like this, had some discussion about that worth of a team comp. But I do genuinely actually think, like, there is something to be said for the unholy triangle I imagined if you use Van Gogh, Doman, and Jacques. You basically use Doman and Jacques as, like, your AoE sweepers to clear up, and then after that, you can use Van Gogh to just go absolutely apeshit on the buffs, because Van Gogh does count as chaotic evil. That means if you've got a fully skilled Doman and a fully skilled Jacques, if you can fire Van Gogh's Noble Phantasm, you've got, like, 280% extra critical damage and, like, 120% attack up. Like, obviously, you're gonna, because of the way the curse allocation works, you're gonna burn through Van Gogh's life down to that 1 HP real fast, but you will also be outputting so much fucking damage. It's crazy. It's crazy the kind of weird shit you can do. Expect me to yell about this more when we do, in fact, do Wanted Doman. So, like, I like Van Gogh mechanically, but jeez. Well, there's your problem, Carlos. That requires double go. Double go requires a go, which I do not have a Van Gogh. I have gotten not all from this. No, also, don't worry about it too much, filthy casual. Obviously, you can catch up on the news by watching the VOD, but, you know, we're just tooling around. We're talking about the event right now, me and chat. So, yeah, no, the fact that the first few maps are stingy with the currency, and technically you can get some bonuses, but it's a little convoluted, and it's not always optimized for the classes that make sense for the free quests, you know? It's just... I just kind of feel a little bit like this event is almost over-designed. Like, they wanted to try out a lot of mechanics, and a lot of them are really cool, but for some reason they felt the need to, like, stop people from just slamming it through. But you've already got time gates, so it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter that people go crazy, right? You know, I don't know why it's quite so restrictive. This is definitely going to be an event much like OQ that will be way better as a main interlude. Like, I think they've totally made the right decision. Obviously, that seems to be their strategy for a lot of stuff. Yeah, Mash should have been like Nemo and Go and given all 3 currency. That would make things a lot easier, but no, we did not go there. Honestly, that also might be my problem. I did try. I talked about this. I think I've done like 2 10 spins. But I have gotten, like, fuck all from it, other than I on monthly tickets, I did actually get a copy of the 5-star CE, which was good, so I have a complete slate of the CEs. Yes, that's a weird thing with, I think it is Fins. It's one of the currency they give you way too much of early on, and you don't need it. Yeah, just in general, I feel like... I don't want to say this event wasn't tested, but I feel like they like overtuned it. They got a little too much into the math, and it probably works out overall. And like I said, as a main interlude, this event is probably great. If you can just take your time and whittle away at the events and stuff, indefinitely, once you've got it unlocked, that's probably great. I've heard lots of people talk about the OQ main interlude, where they just, for the mats, they'll just go away and, like, chip away at a couple corridors when they're not doing anything else. That sounds like a really cool way to handle this, but as a limited time event, it's very grindy, very tedious, and it does genuinely feel like it's a little too reliant on you rolling the new servants. Like, I would love to, like, double go or Nemo go or something, but I didn't get any of those, and you've only got 2 SSRs on this, so not a lot of action we can do here. And like I said, I think the other thing that bothers me is just I mean, I've got a decent number of summer units. I don't have the most. Some summers I'm, like, absolutely snackered on. But even then, you don't get... Because you still only get a single currency bonus per character, per class, basically. And not all of those guys are very good. I've mostly just been powering through this. I've been doing the thing that... You know, they should have just made Castoria a fucking bonus unit, because it doesn't matter that she's not a bonus unit. I'm still using her. Still Castoria Summer Musashi. My Summer Musashi's NP2. She's fucking 10-10-10, I think. I've gotten her append skill from mana loading to 20%. Like, I'm there. That's me. That's how I cruise control this. I just throw, like, an extra Musashi or, you know, bonus Van Gogh or something in that third slot, and it's just, like, let her rip. Well, yeah, I talked about that earlier. I could use my Scotty more, but her skill levels are bad, and I don't have any fucking... I tried to level up her skills. I ran out of fucking caster blue gems again. I've got so many fucking casters, I swear. Every time I get ahead on gems in, like, a lotto event, I then immediately spend them all. By the time I get to the next character, I'm like, fuck, I'm out. So, yeah, there's, you know, little bit of sad gems there. But yeah, no, like, I greatly appreciate that Summer Musashi does have a bonus, but yeah, it's brutal. And again, I like the concept of the reinforcement support, right? But the fact that it costs the same mats that I need to progress the game, it's hard. And then, of course, when you've got those extra hard fights, right? Where you're basically mandatory to use those supports, that just means extra currency down the drain. I don't really know why. I mean, so this event was, like, when FGO was at its slowest a couple of years ago, at the height of COVID lockdowns, right? So I could see them trying to do, like, a stally event when, like, people had more time on their hands. Maybe... or stuff like that. You know? But nowadays, it doesn't play very good. I'm just, there's so much about it that just, you know, I'm like, oh my god, I really just want to, like, I'm very interested in this story, you know? And shit like that, you know? Yeah, honestly... I mean, I have my own opinions. There probably should have been a second event CE that just, like, gave you extra currency drops. You know, like how sometimes they'll have a second CE for, like, enemy spawn rate. There should have just been one that increases your drops of, like, void teeth, fins, and scales and shit. And, like, okay, so, sure, maybe I gotta work through another 4 copies, whatever. But that could have helped, like, alleviate all of that, you know? And I'm sure it'll even out. Like, I have been powering through the story a little more readily. But it is just, as somebody said earlier, it's tedious. You go through all this stage, you know, like, you're just exploring, you're throwing. I really like how we can kind of play with the patterns and get the stuff to line up, you know? But then you'll steamroll, like, you'll run out of areas you can map to because you've hit, like, a powerful enemy square and you just don't have the fucking character unlocked to make it easier. Or, you know, I'll be powering through and I'm, like, halfway through the map, and it's like, well, shit, I don't have enough void points to succeed because, you know, I haven't picked up enough treasure chests or whatever. But I'm also out of juice to explore more. So I gotta like roll free quests just to get in there. Yeah, it's sad that it's so interestingly designed, but it has so many tedious elements. Because like I said, I'm very interested in the story. A lot of people have remarked, and I have noticed how mechanical this is. Somebody in the comments for last week's show actually commented who we believe the author of Imaginary Scramble is. So keep, you guys can double check that in our comments before. Oh, sorry. I smacked my mic arm while I was unscrewing my water bottle. Yeah, I'm already 2/3 through my water bottle. Jeez, I am thirsty. Thirsty for justice. But like, there's so much discussion of the mechanics in this event. Like, we've done so much to actually discuss, like, servants' skills, abilities, how they relate to stuff, doing different tricks, actually, like, mechanically discussing this scenario. It's a really interesting way to write, and a lot of people have enjoyed it, and it's just... One, like I said, the twists are really obvious. And two, just... There's so much busy work in between story nodes, It's sad. I'll be interested to clear it, and I obviously will probably clear it on time, hopefully. Not that a lot is writing on that, other than a grail. I would hate to miss a grail. But, like, other than that, it's not like there's a welfare to complete, and if I don't get... There have been events that I have been super into and gone whole hog on and still didn't get my fucking CE drop. Looking at you, Summer 5! Missed one of those. Didn't get the, day one, or maybe it was the night one. One of them I didn't get my 5th copy of. Sucked. Sucked ass. At least we will get a rerun of that. But yeah, like... There's a lot they could do to improve this, and it is kind of sad that this won't get a rerun with their ability to, like, refine it and shorten it. Because, like, honestly, the treasure chests, they give you a decent infusion when you can find them? I'm not too much farther than that. I'm sure I can hit that. It's just, I'm gonna grind it out and stuff. Oof, Number Hunter. This is why I feel like they should just give us the 5th copy. Like, there's no need to just make it really expensive or something. There's no need to make us grind it all out with the RNG. But anyway, we'll see how stuff shakes out. So yeah, like, I don't want to say this is the worst FGO event. Like, some of our earlier events were so tedious. Like, guys, do you remember Journey from the West? And we got the fixes for that, right? Like, they gave us the rerun version of that was, quote-unquote, streamlined. Yes, like I said, the visuals for this event are great. So many concepts and everything, like, so much psychological shit. It's really interesting. I loved what they did where they basically turned one of the battle nodes into a cutscene, right? Oh, God, the original Saber Wars was so fucking grindy. I think that's, like... When I poll our community about what event was your least favorite, old-timers usually go Saber Wars 1. That point ladder was god-awful. What was the cap? Did you have to go to, like, 3 million? It was bad. But, yeah, no. Like, visually, this event is really cool. And like I was saying, that one, like, pip that is just a cutscene for, You've pressed, remember. It's good. Pressing in 5. But yeah, no, like, seriously. Oh, yeah, no. I remember this part vividly. I got, like, downvoted and, like, chewed out on the Grand Order subreddit because I complained about how grindy it was because I had, like, 2 sabers. Technically 3, because I did have a Caesar, but, like, I think my only saber units who were good was, like... Did I have a Mordred? I didn't even know if I had my Mordred yet. I got an Altera off the first lucky bag ever, and I had a Nero. And I don't even know, did I have Saber Altar yet? I don't even think I had Saber Altar. Yeah. Like, it was bad. Like, that event where you're only... I mean, obviously I had Saber Lily, but still. Yeah, it's just... It was not a good time in the early FGO. There were a lot of bumps to get out. But yeah, so, like, I'm not going to say Imaginary Scramble is nearly as bad as some of that shit. Parts of it are very fun and really interesting, and I like the concept for the mechanics. Yeah, I'd Saber Altar during the rerun. The rerun was a lot better. I also didn't try as hard, but I had a fuck ton more sabers by then. I also didn't they? I think they reworded stuff. I may also have had an MHX by Thed as well. That's the another thing about it. Saber Wars was I was not interested in MHX, but that does not stop me from getting to NP2 on 2 separate lucky bags if I had a nickel, etc. But yeah, no. So again, Metroid Scramble, not that bad. And if you're a newer FGO player and you haven't played some of those old events and you think like, whoa, this is the worst event I've ever played, it might be. It might be the worst one you've ever done. It's not the worst one FGO's ever had. Some of those old events were very clunky and weird. And we just didn't know any better. Remember BP, guys? Remember when we had separate AP just so we wouldn't raid too much? And now they're just like, fuck it, if you can kill the raid in 8 hours, we don't give a fuck. But yeah, I think I will be happy after Imaginary Scramble is over to take a break for basically a story-formatted event. Get ready for your 5-hour episodes on Heian Kyo in the future, y'all. And, what are the contents of the Christmas Lotto? What's the really big thing? Like, obviously, I'm gonna, you know, try decently. And no matter what, but it's not skills, right? Is it skill gems for the Christmas Lotto? I think that was the last one. I need to go a little more ham on Scotfest, and I just didn't. But there is a Saber Karna involved, and there's no rerun, so I will actually give it a little juice. But yeah, like, it says something about the state where we're at. Ah, Moon Dumpling, yes. And it's funny, the rerun, actually, they fixed some stuff. The original run was so weird. I had seeds for, like, I swear to God, a whole year I didn't run out of seeds. Because the optimal way to do... And Blue Saber Gems. Because the optimal way to do moon viewing, like, for your AP, was not actually to do the higher AP nodes. It was to just slam the 5 AP node over and over again. And there are people who probably have been, you know, only started playing in the past couple years who'll be like, wait, what? Yeah, no. Like, early events were very much, we did not know what we were doing. Events now are kind of down to a science. Oh, that's what that was. Okay. Sorry, I just realized, I think it was late last night, I heard a clatter at my desk, and I was like, what the fuck was that? I never looked up. It was one of my Yu-Gi-Oh! Tins that formed the fucking tablet of memories fell over. I'll have to reset that later. I was just, like, looking up off to the side, and I'm like, hold on a minute. That's not right. But yeah, so, you know, if you're not listening to this live, let me know how you felt about Imaginary Scramble here. And, you know, we'll sees what's up. I think so. They tried some stuff. A lot of old events are weird. But let's pivot a little bit. So, we do have some additional news that came out over the week, if nobody else has any other fine thoughts to talk about. I know some people have been complaining about the epilogue bits, and I do believe you have to do them to get the Grail, so we'll see. I'm not there yet personally, so I don't know about that, how much shenanigansing we can do, but, you know, we'll see what's up. But there was some other news that is technically Fate adjacent, and is certainly related to Aniplex and some of the people we know. So, we've got some new info on the remake, you know, the updated version, enhanced version of Witch on the Holy Night, Mahoyo, coming up. So we got some interesting stuff over that. Amazon did the Amazon thing. They did the funny and slightly leakled that there is going to be a physical limited edition release. Yeah, the Go puns are very good. Like I said, knowing what I know about how Go's character works, again, if you're not caught up on that, don't watch the one maybe yet, but do watch it eventually. I get into at least how based on the translations of the original JP script, like I said, I don't have my own Van Gogh to, like, dig into her profile and confirm. But I think they did an interesting and good thing with that, and so far I've been interested in the writing here and how they handle it. Though I will say, just as an aside, I swear to God, fucking... Do the FGO writers for Foreigners just have, like, the Wikipedia list of, you know, great old ones or whatever open on their desktops when they write? Because there's some obscure shit in here. Oh, that does remind me of a fact, though, I did want to deliberately shout out before we get into Mahoyo. I do want to say, shout out to the script for explicitly clarifying that those ladies, those fire ladies with Young, are actually fire vampires. So that pretty clearly states that it is, in fact, Cthulhu she is plugged into. Because those are... The fire vampires are his boys. I know that was, like... Everybody was, like, very confused with descriptions and stuff before. But, like... I was actually pleasantly surprised when somebody in the Ian script was like, yeah, no, I call them my handmaidens, but they're fire vampires. And I'm like, oh, neat. But, yes. So, it was previously announced that worldwide the enhanced version of Witch of the Holy Night will be coming out on Switch and PS4 on December 8th. I believe that is still set. However, it's very obscure. Like I said, I think I agree with who the community thinks Van Gogh is related to. It's really obscure. It was like, it's the name of a... Volthoom is the name of, like, a Clark Ashton Smith story. It was like that one time. Does mean you can go there. But yes, thank you, Orion Perez. You brought up something good. But yeah, so Amazon did the Amazon thing, and while I believe the 8th date is unchanged for digital worldwide, Amazon accidentally opened up pre-orders for a physical limited edition release. Yeah, no, it's Volthoom. That does mean if you want to know more about Volthoom, you can go read the story named after that. Just Google it. But still, like, that's hella obscure, y'all. But Amazon did temporarily open up limited edition orders for the physical release of Witch on the Holy Night. And they have since released a demo, actually. I haven't checked it out because when PS4 pre-orders went up, I was there. Was right there, right away. Got it right away, guys. Locked in. I believe Lucky is also locked in his pre-order for the physical limited edition. But yeah, so it was a little bit of a weird thing. You know, but it happened. And shout out to Aniplex USA. Oh, I might have been Aniplex directly, but somebody at Aniplex, one of their divisions. After a little bit, the Amazon releases were taken down, but Aniplex did announce that it was accidentally put out there, but they would be honoring all orders that were put through already. So if you ordered it, you're still safe. Is the actual... Yes, okay, it's back up. So the Switch and the PS4 versions have a physical limited edition release. It will come with some stuff. Basically, it's got a special box, art book, etc. There is a demo out if you want to check it out. I think you can do the usual demo thing and, like, save your progress as well. Carry over to the main game. But still very neat. And like I said, shout out, kudos to Aniplex for actually honoring the results. So yeah, that was cool that we actually got out there and, you know, got the whole thing. Like I said, my pre-order's locked in. Now, that one is actually That's not coming out until late January. I personally am okay with that. My backlog for the whole upcoming next months is bad. Because, you know, game-wise, to get a little into the, you know, to do the pseudo what's up part of the show. Let's see. So, I've already pre-ordered God of War Ragnarok, which has received an astonishingly good score on Metacritic. It is a 94, I think, last I checked. You know, considered a must-play, considering it is temporarily a console exclusive. And, like, you know, IGN, lots of people are giving it 10s out of 10s, 5 out of 5s. We are talking a very strong candidate for Game of the Year, it sounds like. So my pre-order for that, locked in. Gonna get it release date on Wednesday. I won't be playing it right away because we will be trying to stream that. Hopefully not too much into the distant future. Actually, technically it says it's coming Wednesday, so I don't know exactly. But we'll see how it shakes out. We might shift some stuff around depending on how Lucky feels. Hopefully he feels good enough on Monday to continue on our rat game adventures. Again, if you want to make sure you show out your support for Lucky, go watch our streams of Plague Tale Requiem. Yeah. You and I had a long talk the other night, Legendary, about how Sega is continuing a trend of not distributing review copies early for Sonic games, which is not a great look. They have not distributed any early release copies of Sonic Frontiers. Now, like I said, that's not actually unusual for Sega. The problem is the games they've done that for were Sonic Boom and Sonic Forces. They basically gave reviewers codes that activate the release date. Now, they've given people some preview access to actually play, like, basically to demo the game. They get to play, like, the first 2 hours, I think I've heard. So, it's not like they're scared of the game. It's just very weird. It could be okay, but it does not build confidence. But yeah, no, as I was saying, I'm okay with Mahoyo coming out later physically and getting my buying it once with the limited edition physical release because I have so many gosh darn games. Harvestella just came out to Switch and PC. I wonder if Lucky's got that yet. If not, I think he pre-ordered it, but we'll see. But, you know, Tactics Ogre Reborn comes out soon. I'm interested in that. I don't think I'll be doing that one day one. But, you know, the big one for this month is, and I should probably make sure to pre-order that soon. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet come out this month. I'll be picking up Scarlet because it's red. Oh, yes. And the Front Mission First Remake is at the end of this month as well. I got to remember to pick up that one. Very interested in that. Very keen about that. And then December... big-ass games as well. Callisto Protocol. Oh, geez, December 2nd. Come on, guys. You gotta space these out a little bit. My poor bank account. And then December 13th, Crisis Core Reunion. So, like, I am okay with this being a January release, all right, guys? Like, I'm okay with waiting. I don't know if they've had time. It's... Interesting. No critic reviews on the Switch version. No on the PC. I mean, that was a smaller release title. I could see that, whatchamacallit, maybe Square didn't put that one out because it was a smaller release. And quite frankly, Square Enix's release schedule of video games is fucking unhinged these days. So, maybe that one wasn't screened for critics. I don't know what that means for Square. They don't usually do that, but we'll see. So far, the small handful of user reviews I saw on Metacritic were positive. It's probably the kind of thing where, like, if you know you want this game, like, from the pre-release footage and the features, you want this game. I know Lucky had a great time with mechanically with the new Star Ocean game. That one I think is doing pretty good. But yeah, so my gaming is slamma-jammed up for the next couple of months with a lot of really good shit. So I'm okay with Mahoyo being released later. If you want to make sure you go ahead and play it like right away, like I said, I'm pretty sure you can get the digital versions, you know, December 8th. And that'll be perfectly fine. And You know, you might be able to get physical versions of the non-limited release. I don't know about that one. You can play the demo right now. Some people have, as usual, the internet is full of bad takes. Some people have posted some comparisons between fan translations, where the fan translation is more wordy but thus more specific. At least for that one screenshot that's going around, I would like to tell you, as a person who writes, the localized version is better. Technically, the, fan translated one is more literally accurate. But the shorter localized version says the exact same thing. Basically, they're like, it's something like, they talk about, I mean, it's not necessarily they didn't advertise it for shit. They've been showing trailers pretty regularly. I don't know if I can dig it up. I follow a handful of artists that tweet it out. But basically, the short version is the fan translation, it's Aoko's looking at the character Alice, and basically in the translated version, which I assume is more literal to the Japanese text, is basically she's talking about how pretty and delicate Alice is, and even though Aoko is the same gender, she is entranced by her beauty or whatever. The localized version in the demo says, she's so slim and delicate, even Aoko is entranced by her beauty. Again, it means the same thing, it's just they said it better. If you add that word even and you stress it correctly, that already says that part without getting too into the guts of the literal version. Oh, did somebody post it in the spoiler channel? There's a lot of shit going on in spoiler channel right now. I'm not talking about the bunny rabbit one, though that looks good. There's a lot of shit. There's a lot of shit going on. Yeah. But some people have been making comparisons already, but I'm not gonna fight about it. I think it's fine. Too many people get caught up in the literalness of translation. Actually, that gets me into a point for whenever we talk about FGO later, but I as always, have yet another fun number of experiences between the difference between sub versus the literal Japanese text, but you can get a lot of meaning out there. But anyway, I'm hyped for Mahoyo. We do have a movie version by Ufotable coming out sometime, eventually. But with that being not until January, it is entirely possible. We'll have to see exactly how our schedule lines up. I'm not going to promise anything early because we got a couple months. But we might be able to stream that one. Also, there is always the concern that because it is a Japanese game and it is Oops All Story, they might get on our case for cutscenes and stuff. Oof, yeah, I understand. Honestly, everything these days sucks up so much juice. I get annoyed when I feel like Discord sucks up extra RAM for no reason all of a sudden. It's weird, it's wacky, it's wild. But, yeah. I hope you guys are hyped for Mahoyo. I'm very interested to get in there. Some great shots of everybody. We got the party going on. It's going to be fully voiced. There's going to be tchotchkes for the physical release. And I'm fairly certain that everybody is treating this as basically hey, does this mean we can get proper, translated, brought over, and official releases of other games, like the Tsukihime remake, like the original Fate Stay Night, etc. And as somebody brought up not too long ago in chat, things have been going very well. Even though that was an accidental surprise release, the Mahoyo, both versions were number 3 in their categories. It was number 3 PS4 game and number 3 Switch game. The Switch was funnier because it was literally Pokemon Scarlet, Pokemon Violet, Mahoyo. So, a lot of really fun, good stuff there. So yeah, I'm about it. We'll see what's up. And like I said, we may we may see about streaming it. And we'll see, because it's, as far as I know, pure VN stuff. So I don't know, like how that would go streaming, but we'll see. We'll workshop some shit. We'll keep you informed. Sorry, I've been sitting up all tense like I'm gonna relaxify myself. Lean back in my chair. How's my sound level? I still sound good? I still got the microphone right in front of my face, but I'm gonna stretch my legs out. But, you know, we've been going for about an hour. We've covered all of the news and discussion points I wanted to. Obviously, we'll have to get back to you next week with, like, some full spoiler stuff on Imaginary Scramble. I'm sure Lucky will have his thoughts out as well, so we can get all in there. Get to the thingin' and the bringin'. But yeah, I'd like to take this opportunity, since we are not doing the normal mailbag type stuff. Though, shout out to... how many people was it? How many we got? Give me a second, I'm futzing with my tabs. You can listen to Grand Battle 3, it's good. 15. Some of that's because it was, you know, not resolved. I don't know if we'll just recapture these for next week or what we'll do. But I deeply appreciate all of you sending in your messages and stuff. So, thanks, guys. But I would love to take this opportunity to, you know, if you guys in chat have any questions or other shit you want to bring up, you know, while I got you. We can go for that. Otherwise, I'm probably just going to, you know, verbally shit post for 20 to 30 minutes. Make sure we get a little decent timeline here. So, you know, chat, feel free to fire up anything you wanna bring up or talk about. As you have that right, you are chat. But, yeah, I was going to say earlier talking about subtitles, for instance. So... I've been watching a decent amount of Netflix lately. And one thing that Netflix does have is, I talked last week on WhatsApp about I'd watched Gundam Hathaway. But Netflix also, to set up that, has the compilation movies of the original Mobile Suit Gundam, the 3 parts. So, hey, I get to punch out something on my nerd card. I have watched all 3 of those. It's a little bit of a work, because all 3 of them are over 2 hours. Well, I mean, what Zolters is doing right now in the Grand Order timeline is nothing, because the Earth has exploded. I assume in non-exploded versions of the timeline, he's probably just giving us the eyeball and being like, they've got this. I could see a few things going out there. But yeah, so, punch that on my nerd card. I have now technically watched all of the original Mobile Suit Gundam. Obviously, some characterization stuff was compressed out of the compilations, but so was some dumb merchandising stuff that Tomino didn't like. And that definitely has some of that stuff I'm talking about, right, with the difference between the subs and the actual contextual dialogue. Like, I understand enough about conversational Japanese to pick up what lines read certain ways, and the subs will say, you know, like, do your best, etc. It's great. Whereas they'll just go for, the subs will translate stuff that's not literal but flows correctly in English. It's pretty common. It does some stuff like that. Why am I not surprised somebody has an emote for that in Discord? Yeah, I'm dual monitoring right now, so I can see you guys posting on our Discord. Shake my finger at you. Netflix also has Char's Counterattack, so I'll have to get to that one eventually when I have time. What I've been doing, because it's as usual for me, it's hard to watch anime and read subtitles and also play FGO, because that also involves a lot of reading. Netflix, currently at least, has all 3 of the Oceans. No, I have not caught up on Owl House yet. There's a lot of stuff I'm not, like, current on. I think I've talked about this. I'm gonna get fucking charged for my month of Hulu when I still haven't caught up on Bleach either. Sorry, I'm yawning. That's why I said I would shitpost for, 20 to 30 minutes. Because I'm not full of energy. I brought this up last time I talked about it. My favorite series so far is still 8th MS Team. I just love how intensely real robot it is. There's definitely something to be said for the design of the original series. Like, obviously, the animation is a little dated, and, like, some of the concepts it does are still a little simplified, but it's still got a lot of them classic sci-fi bones. I don't know why nobody told me there were so many cylinders in Gundam. Love cylinders. O'Neill cylinders are great. And the compilation movies are much better about introducing you to the concept of new types. But in general, a lot of Gundams have very unique feels. I'll probably take a crack and work through my backfill on there. Like I said, I wanna check out Char's Counterattack, because that's on Netflix. I think Hulu has the Origin OVAs, which are like prequels and slight retellings of the original story. So I should probably look into that one. And there's just a lot of other shit I should, work through. Crunchyroll has G Gundam. I need to watch that at some point, just because that one's very special and unique. And G Gundam was trending today. I'm not quite sure why. But yes, I still have so much TV to catch up on. What I've been doing to watch while, just to fill time. Yeah, no, I just said that. I'm sorry. Chat was a little delayed. But if you didn't catch that, no, I haven't caught up on 1,000 Year Blood War yet either. I'm juggling so much stuff right now, guys. It's exhausting. I feel like I need to pick a day, but we have a streaming. Maybe next Thursday I'll just catch up on all my shit. Well, actually, honestly, depending. Sorry, big yawn. I may have more. I've also been catching up on making sure to write for our tabletop sessions. Please go watch the Jonesakai APs, but we had a new phase of those that I got to work through, so I had to, write shit for that as well. But that's mostly caught up, and hopefully we'll be completely caught up by the time we get to everything on Sunday. If we're even gaming Sunday, that would allow me to super catch up. Like, the only show that I am absolutely current with is G-Witch, and that's only because if I don't watch G-Witch, somebody in our Discord will basically post every frame of that new episode by the time Sunday is over. So I just, for the sake of the internet FOMO, I just have to watch that right away, otherwise I'll be in trouble. But yeah, currently, I think they're rotating some out, but Netflix has a lot of, older movie-type stuff. And currently, over the past couple of days, like I said, while I've been trying to catch up on the event, they've got the Oceans trilogy, Oceans 11, Oceans 12, and Oceans 13. I believe that some of them, if not all of them, are going away November 30th, which is sad, but I will catch up on all of them when they're out, while they're here. Because I fucking love those movies. I could watch talking about movies you could watch constantly. Definitely got to be one of my more favorite movie series. I can watch those all day in, day out. Beautiful pieces of film. So that's been how I've been killing time while doing the event, and I will probably go back to working on that stuff up. People are dumb about anime using CGI, I don't know why. Because obviously, I think we've discussed this before on WhatsApp. You can have cheap CGI. You can have bad CGI. Like, you cannot take the time needed to necessarily do that craft. But for an example, while there has been some rumblings of it, I haven't heard it very intensely. But for instance, I mentioned G-Witch. They use CG for some of the mechs for once. But they are very high-quality CG models, and they mix it with the traditional animation so that while you can usually tell, it doesn't look bad. And it's probably because they're spending a lot of money on those effects and, planning it out. So, there's definitely some things you can do to make that shit good, right? I haven't watched any Chainsaw Man, so I don't know how their CG is. But some people definitely will just be dumb about the fact that you're using any CGI at all. God, I'm just sorry. I'm scrolling through some stuff, and I'm like, man, I got so much to catch up on. I need to catch up on Andor. People are saying it's like the best ever. Whew, I just got, shivers. Shit, did the air kick on? Oh, hello. Sorry. See an article about Ratchet and Clank getting added to PS Plus. Okay. All right. That's cool. So they're adding quite a few of those to PS Plus. That's neat. Sorry, I'm shammer jamming it through, scrimming some news and stuff. Okay, so... Yeah, so, I mean, if it's obvious, some people are like, the fact that I can tell it's CG is... But... if it's still good quality, you know the difference, guys. You know the difference between good and bad. You've seen it, so... There's some shit out there that we can, work on. It's a shame that people get so nitpicky about stuff. God, the memes. Yeah, if you want to know more about anime and stuff, you'll have to make sure to ask Lucky on Monday, if we're Monday streaming. Hopefully we are. That's a couple of days. Lucky say he'd be feeling better because of the drugs. Hopefully he can, be over any difficulties by then. But honestly, I'm not surprised, again, to see, Bleach topping. It's, like I said, even if I haven't gotten around to watching it, it's such a fucking hype fest. Like, they've just started, I think, doing some of the dubbing work. Django Bash is back, and it's just like, dams. A lot of good effort there. But yeah, lots of video games, lots of anime. My reading is still terribly behind. I've been trying to write more, but we got a lot of stuff to work on. I do seriously need to pick a day and just schedule out some catch-up. But obviously with Imaginary Scramble, like I said, I've been trying to keep up the story on that. Hopefully I can clear the event in the next couple of days so that I don't need to worry about it anymore for a little bit. I can just go back to logging in, get some free time back. Like I said, it's hard for me to do FGO competently and also, read. Sorry, there's just so many Devil May Cry memes in games right now. Though, that's related to a comment that was about the Game Awards. The Game Awards will be very interesting this year. We're not quite mid-November, so they haven't announced nominees yet. There will be a hell of a What's Up show that week when they announce those out. We're going to rattle those off, because I am sure that's going to be very interesting. I'm very curious what the 4 nominees for Game of the Year will be. So, because, almost all of the highest-rated games this year are re-releases. So, it's very weird. Let me go ahead and double-check, best games of 2022. God of War Ragnarok will be on there for sure. And Elden Ring will be on there for sure. Because the console versions of Elden Ring are both at a 96 on Metacritic. And I've said this before, I'm still interested in playing Elden Ring, but I want to make sure. No, I have not seen the. That would require me to see most of One Piece, which is something I haven't done because there's 9 million episodes of it. People will at me about that, but I'll say it. But yes, I'm still interested in Elden Ring. It's just I don't really want to pay $50 for a game to kick my ass. Maybe like $20 or $30. I'm hopeful we'll get that low eventually. Probably gonna be some DLC announced, but like the other big games like P5 Royal is sitting at 95, the PC release, and then the Portal got released on the Switch. That's a 96, and then you got God of War Ragnarok as a 94. So let's see. I mean, I guess Rogue Legacy 2 is pretty highly rated. Neon White might be a contender. That's very well rated. So we'll see how they decide to pick stuff. It's a lot. It's a lot of episodes. Best DLC is pretty crackled. I do want to say, technically, I've talked about this before, but I've been playing a lot of I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. Lucky broke it down on What's Up last week. I talked a little about my experiences playing on Wednesday during our Final Fantasy XIV stream. That's top 25. It's 89 on Metacritic. I hope they get some nominations. It's a very, I don't want to say it's a fun game. It's a very neat game, very interesting, lots of heavy storytelling and stuff. Like I said, if I get to, yes, we had an extensive discussion about RPG. Best RPG will be weird. I'm just gonna, like, even if technically you can count God of War Ragnarok as an RPG, I suspect they will not, the Video Game Awards will not put it in the RPG category. They'll probably put it in action or action-adventure areas, just so it doesn't double up on too many awards. Elden Ring will go in the Best RPG category, so I could totally see, as an example, God of War winning Game of the Year, but Elden Ring, like, getting Best RPG, maybe, for instance. Or Elden Ring could get a shitload of awards. We don't know. Like, Sekiro won Game of the Year 1 year and so on, so we'll see what happens. It'll be very interesting to see how they nominate. Like I said, it'll be a big boy episode. But there have been a fuck ton of good RPGs this year. Like, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is number 19 at an 89. So, like, yeah, no, there's some shit here. But no, seriously, if you can, check out I Was a Teenage Exocolonist if you're interested in it. The game has an extensive list of content warnings you should double check. It's got a lot of stuff going on there. So, be careful before you get in there. But do consider checking it out. And like I said, I may go for a stream when I start a new run. If only because, like I said, I'm like halfway through. The game has a 10-year span per story, and then you can reset. It is very explicitly a reset game because the prologue starts by killing you and resetting you to age 10. So that's not a spoiler. That's the setup. That's in the first like 5 minutes. But like halfway through, there's a lot of shit going on. So I would have to time a release to see how all the stuff is. But yeah, Game Awards are going to be cracked crazy. Also, Jeff's going to have some crazy shit for us. I know a lot of people are saying Elden Ring DLC. Not that I'm not saying that, but I'm really hoping that From busts out their announcement of a new Armored Core. If only because, like I said, I've been watching a lot of Gundam shit lately, and I am fucking crackled for mecha. I am down to clown on that Front Mission remake. It's coming out for Switch soon. But, yeah, I don't know. If you guys don't have any other stuff to, like, slam jam me really quick. We've been going for about an hour and a half. I'm sorry that this is a little short for us. But I am expending a lot of energy, obviously, going solo modo. And like I said, I'm a little wore out as well. I mean, Lucky and I have talked before about how I think you could make maybe not necessarily a full Soulsborne, but definitely a roguelike mecha game. Like, just make it so that when your mech is destroyed, you eject, and then that explains why you gotta reset some shit. You could make it work. But they might also do other stuff. They don't have to make everything a Soulsborne, you know? But yeah, obviously being solo, that means I gotta expend a lot of energy to do all this. Just want to do a little stream, keep everybody updated on the news, because I think there's some interesting stuff coming out. There's some stuff to talk about. I know we didn't get super deep into it, but I am very interested to see what it seems like. I don't know why I couldn't remember the name of Fairy Night Cup, but I'm staring at it and I'm like, duh, Fairy Night Cup. Yeah. That will be in, whatchamacallit. Okay, so that's Wednesday, technically probably Tuesday night. Do we have that stream in News Desk? The bot we get for News Desk has a very handy feature that lets me know when. Oh, no, okay, so I won't be watching that stream live. That's at 5 a.m. on a Wednesday. So it is technically Wednesday. It's just very early. But I will be interested to see that news come up and do the stuff and do the thing. So we'll get to see our new servant. So next week, hopefully, we will have new servant, new event stuff to talk about with you. We'll have our actual final thoughts on Imaginary Scramble. I think we should get a hunting quest next, or is it a interlude campaign? Let me actually check what to expect. What do we got coming up? Because obviously, like I said, there's going to be a panel at Anime NYC the 19th of this month, so we'll get some announcements on our harder and faster shit then, but there's still plenty of things out there. Ugh. As I just rip a giant yawn. Okay, so 2020, November. Okay, so there'll be a 22 million downloads campaign. So there'll be a Murasaki banner and some other updates. Okay. Oh. Ow. Sorry, I just took emotional damage from what the new Mana Prism CE will be. Oof. Yeah, but so we'll probably get that download event next after Imaginary Scramble ends. There is an interlude campaign 15, but I don't know if they'll move that up, you know? We may just get some other filler shit. Because NA has been very good about, you know, giving us extra banners and content to fill out things. And much like that Imaginary Scramble banner 2 that's going to fill some time as well. Nothing much, Sonic. We're just wrapping up here. I'm running out of things to talk about. Well, that's not true. I have lots of stuff to talk about, but I'm also very low energy. I would like to, you know, relax and get back to slamming the event. If you want more fun conversation times, consider checking out our Discord. We have lots of conversations there. Obviously, some people said, you know, it's a little hard to run a Discord and the YouTube stream at the same time, but the stream will soon be over. If you got here late or missed some stuff, this will stay up as a VOD. So be sure to, you know, go ahead and roll back to it. If, you know, obviously it's only about an hour and a half. If that's not enough content for you this week, you know, we still managed to clock out some of our regular content releases. There's a new Gensekai AP. Please go listen to it. We had some fun there. That was a lot, very roleplay heavy. Lots of funny stuff. Lots of yelling at Dallas. He knows what he's done. But we did have our... Yeah, I'm running out of it. Yeah. This is why usually I do streams with other people. Like, I have solo streamed some gameplay, but just me sitting and talking without, like, a game to play or other stuff, it's hard to keep the juice up all the time. This is why I need, like, a minimum number of people to do Fail Portrayal, and why there are other people on our streams. So, speaking of which, though, we did have a full course of streams last week. So, Monday's stream was episode 2 of Plague Tale Requiem. Go check that out. Lucky in the driver's seat, me in the back seat, in the rat seat. Check them out. We did have a Fail Portrayal for what you guys voted on Patreon. Actually, that does remind me of something I do have to bring up business-wise. Thank you, me. But we do got a Patreon poll for Fail Portrayal up for our new month. And we did the one that you guys voted on last month, which was Time Thief / S-Force. I think that was pretty interesting for us to get into. And on Wednesday, like I said, we had our usual Finlay Fantasy 14 stream. We managed to get some stuff done there. Did some dungeons. That was fun. And as a Dragoon, I learned different ways to jump that the game won't let me keep in main story. In addition to all the streams, like I said, Wanted Van Gogh came out. If you haven't checked that one out yet, please do. Though, like I said, it will have some spoilers, some spoily-doos. Okay, so yeah, Fail Betrayal poll is out if you haven't seen it already. DDD is winning, but only by a little. I'm actually shocked. Yeah, so only 6 people have voted. So go ahead and, if you are a $5 or higher patron, you can vote in that poll to pick our monthly one. Otherwise, we should be back this Tuesday. I think Dallas is free. Everybody should be free for, I think, Karakuri is our next one. Hopefully we'll have some fun stuff to talk about there. And Fanservant Friday poll is out as well. And I gotta say, guys, I'm very disappointed in you all. It is literally today is Remember, 5th of November. Oh, asking about will I buy... Yes. Because, like, my backlog is horrible, I talked about this on the stream. I like that I have a day budgeted out to spend several hours playing 14 without having to, like, mesh it with my other schedule. I like that about streaming. Yeah, I know. For some people, it's not. But for me, currently, it is literally November 5th. Guy Fawkes Assassin is in my Fanservant Friday list, and he only has 14% of the vote. I'm very disappointed. Currently, Duck Holiday Archer is actually winning, but we've only got 7 votes, so there's more people who can vote. Again, support us at the 5 and a higher tier on Patreon to get in that vote. But yes, on 14, I will eventually pay for a sub to get access to the stuff. I'm kind of riding on the free trial for now, so long as it's not too annoying. Just because I'm playing it at a very slow rate, because I'm busy with lots of stuff. Once I am paying regularly for playtime, I will probably be in a mood to play it more often because I'm actively investing. But, you know, we'll get into that more. But yeah, so check out streams, check out videos we've done, check out future streams. Hopefully, Monday we'll be back with Lucky. And if not, then I'll come up with something else. You know, we'll see what's happening. We'll see what's the haps. But, yeah, I think I'm about tapped out of all the stuff to say and all the business. So, obviously, if you're new watching this video, I know this isn't our regular Let's Talk FGO, but do consider giving us a subscribe so you can always catch Let's Talk FGO every week when it's releasing normally. Our regular podcast about other stuff, What's Up, videos like Wanted and other streams. You can go ahead and give this video a like to share that algorithm love and show Lucky your support while he's ill. Jam those likes. Give us cool numbers to show people. Leave any comments you have after the show is done in the comments below. You know, like I said, check out the comment. Monday still will be Plague Tale because we're not done. God of War doesn't come out until Tuesday. I might, depending. I think my copy still doesn't get here until Wednesday, even though I'm pre-ordered. But that's not a guarantee with Amazon. Who knows when the fuck they'll show me stuff. If Lucky's not feeling like it, I will come up with something. I may actually switch around days, but we'll see. I will let you guys know on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter, link in the video description. If you want to be abreast of that stuff. Also, join our Discord as well. I do announcements and things there, too. So, try those avenues to keep track of us. And obviously, keep your eye on the channel sub. Oh, it does come out Wednesday. Okay, yeah. All right, so my release is... I thought it was Tuesday, but I guess I was wrong. But yeah, so no, it's still definitely Plague's Tale then, because Wednesday will probably be a little too late. We'll see, though, exactly. Like I said, I'll pull something out of my butt if Lucky is still not feeling like it. But yeah, that's another good reason to sub, though. That'll and also ring that bell for notifications, because that'll get you alerts on showing us the powerful, you know, stuff when we're streaming, dates like that. Yes, consider joining our channel memberships as well. Get access to those emotes and those membership badges. Lucky is working hard on finding a new tablet, and then he's going to rush up on his art skills. Get him some Adobe programs so we can be, you know, footloose, fancy-free, get extra emotes. It's a great way to support us. And like I said at the front of the show and earlier, consider supporting us on Patreon. Get access to audio releases of our podcasts, APs, and other fun stuff. Get access to topic polls and video releases early for 5 and up. You can listen to Let's Talk FGO get recorded live every week that we record a Let's Talk FGO, regardless of whether or not we have to do a special feature. If you support us at a high enough level, get on-air shoutouts, etc., etc. It's a really fun time. I think I have run through all the business. I see the viewers starting to trickle out. thank you so much, everybody, for showing up and, putting up with me in this solo mode. I know I've been a little scatterbrained while I go back and forth with chat. But we powered through my show notes. I got you updated on the news and stuff. I hope you guys had a fun time. We'll see you guys later. Everybody sure to leave your well wishes for Lucky in the comments as well, because I'm sure he sees those too. And, yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap up here. It's been cool. Hope to see you guys next week for more Let's Talk FGO. Bye, everybody.